What's up, everybody? Back again with another episode of One Day at a Time. I'm your host, Brandon. If you don't already know that, um, welcome to the podcast. Just gonna hang out, have some conversation, and talk about my faiths. Mention a little bit about some anxiety and depression, and work through some things. And hopefully, some of what you hear today helps you with things that you're struggling with. So, we're gonna kick it off and talk about how God's a provider. He's the best provider. And it's been really cool to experience all the ways that he will provide for you, but also use you to provide for other people. Uh, Obviously, Christmas is coming up, and it's been a very different season compared to how it was last year or the years before it, to where I've been able to bless a lot of people. And it's very humbling and it's very empowering. I don't know what the right word is. I'm very blessed to have been able to bless other people this year because I've been so blessed this year that I want to share that as much as I can. And there's been a lot of times where God has provided for me, whether it's with word, with strength, with money even. I've had incidents where, I spent money to give somebody a tip for going out of their way to help me, and it was money that I needed, but I was blessed in return with more, which is really a cool experience to have. So if you put your trust in Him to provide the things that you need, there's you'll be surprised at what's going to happen. I've been praying through this whole journey for different answers, for different clarification, for ways that I can help people. And it's been really cool to see how he's used me to help other people. And a lot of times it might just seem silly what you're doing, but you never really know like what seeds you're planting as you go through with whatever your mind is telling you that you got to do. When God puts something on your heart, you got to trust in Him and just, go for it and see what happens. We also have to trust that God won't give us more than we can handle. Doesn't mean He's going to make it easy for us. But just know if you're going through something that seems challenging, there might be a bigger lesson in it. Maybe He's trying to grow you or have you transform into what He needs, or show yourself that you do have the strength to get through it. And He knows what you can and can't handle. And sometimes He will give you stuff that is hard. And you do have to rely on Him or other people around you to get through it. But through that, it's strengthening your faith. You know, building faith, I've had it compared to me in a really cool way that really made a lot of sense. You know, faith doesn't come easy. And it's like, when you go to the gym and lift weights to build muscle, like if it's easy, you're not going to accomplish anything. But as you're going through it, when you're going to build muscle, like you push your muscles to the point of failure, and that's how they grow. And our faith is a lot like that. Like you push through it and you exercise it. Like you have to build it. It's like a muscle. So as you're going through things with God, realize that He is transforming you at the same time as you are going through these trials. And if you're going through something, a situation that you're praying for God to change the situation or help you with the situation, just know that, like, if the situation isn't changing, it might be you that He's trying to change. Maybe He's trying to help you see things in a different light or show you that you do have the strength to get through it, or show you to rely on Him more and let go of the control that we think we have when in reality we really don't have a lot of control over things. You know, God's in control. He's the driver of this ship, if you will. Like if we rely on Him more and focus on Him more, it's really cool all the pieces that fall into place. And through a lot of these trials, like I know for myself, when things have gotten a little rocky. It's been a little bit harder for me to focus on my faith. And that's when things just start going downhill, like getting a little bit harder to get out of. And when you shift your focus back to God, everything changes. The situation changes, your mindset changes, and it's important to focus on Him. I heard something the other day that really resonated with me, and it was the devil doesn't have to drag you to hell, he just has to distract you from heaven. And if you're sitting there not focusing on God when you're going through these things and you're focusing on all the pain and the hurt and it's just going worse and worse and worse, all you really need to do is shift your focus to God and those feelings should go away. And that's been my experience. I was having a rough morning the other day and I was really upset, having a bad day. I was talking to one of my buddies on right before work and he's like, "All right, we're going to stop." He's like, "You know how we fix this?" And I'm like, "I don't know how." And he started praying with me on the phone. And there's a lot of power in that. Honestly, like it totally shifted my mindset. And then after I had prayed with him, I looked back at my phone and I realized that my wife also sent me a prayer in a text message. And that's been a way that I've reached out to other people who have been struggling with things, that I will send them a message with a prayer that I do pray with them. I use voice to text to write it, so I am praying through it with them. And it's been really impactful for the people who I have sent it to. So it's really cool to have support and have other people to pray for or have pray for you. And the more you focus on your faith and the people that are around you, the easier the darkness gets, because it really has no power over us. It just tries to distract us at all times. So the more that we can focus on God, whether it's through prayer, through worship music, listening to sermons, reading the Bible is a big one that I really want to focus more on. And having the community has been such a huge blessing to me, that I'm surrounded by people that are walking this walk with me and I can lean on them when I need help. It's not all on me. And I don't have to figure it out on my own with God. It is an intimate relationship between me and God, but also like on the days that I'm struggling more, like there are people that I can rely on to help push me right in the right direction and recenter me and refocus me, because I'm still new at this, but even still, like the attacks aren't going to stop from the enemy. He's going to keep trying every chance he gets, because that's what he's here for. But I was talking to my buddy the other day, and we were talking about like his struggles with anxiety and depression, and he was honestly telling me that it was 10 years since his last suicide attempt. And I'm like, dude, that's so awesome that it's been 10 years. Like, you've survived through it, you're thriving through it. And something that I've learned and I've really felt deep in my bones is that we all go through things and struggle through things, whether it's anxiety, depression, addiction, whatever it is. And as you go through that, you become the expert in the topic because you've gone through it and you've experienced it, you've lived through it, you've learned through it, you've grown through it. So now you become an expert in that topic, and you're the person that can help other people that are experiencing this. So just because it's hard doesn't mean it's all for nothing. Just know as you grow through it, there's other people that aren't there yet. And God is setting you up to be in a position to help them go through it, help them overcome it, and help them experience what you've experienced. And for me, through this podcast and through all the times I've been able to share my testimony, there's been a lot of that to where I feel like the things that I've struggled with and the revelation that I have now, that I can really relate to a lot of different people with the things that they go through. And my goal is to help people struggle less. My goal is to help people see the light as I have and live a happier life with people who love and support them. Now, if anyone is struggling with suicidal thoughts, suicide is not the answer, and you're not as alone as you think you are. You can leave comments down below. If you have my number or any other way to reach out to me, send me a message. Like, I will always be someone that will be here for you if you need it. But there's a lot of other people that will be there too. And if you pray to God, He will be there for you as well. And I think what's really important, as we talk about the changes over time, is we get so fixated on the immediate now and what we're struggling with now and what we're going through now that I know for myself, I forget to give myself grace like God gave me. And I forget to give myself credit for how far I've come from where I started. So I mentioned a while ago that, hey, I want to read the Bible more. And I do read it, just not as much as I would like to. But I don't always have time and I don't always make the time. Sometimes I just sit there mindlessly scrolling through my phone. But 4 months ago, I wasn't even trying to read it. And I know a lot more of it now than I did back then. But I struggle with the I should do this more. Well, I'm doing it more than I used to. So, it's important to give yourself credit and remember where you started to where you are and zoom out sometimes. Instead of focusing on now and what you're dealing with now, look a little bit bigger and see, all right, I'm struggling with this right now, but how much have I changed through this process? In the last month, how much has things changed? How much different have I been? How much better has my mood been? It's important to look back at the positive things and recognize yourself for how far you've come and give yourself credit. Because if you don't give yourself credit, you know, it's hard. I know I struggle with that I don't give myself enough credit for as far as I've come. And even today, I was talking with somebody about how much my life has changed in the last 3 months. And for me, it's crazy because it's only been 3 months, but the person I used to be and the way my brain used to work, and I can still fully identify, like, oh yeah, in the past, my brain would have thought like this. I would have acted like this. And it's crazy to me that, like, it was only 3 months ago that I was like that. And as you go through it, you sit there and you struggle. And I tried to fix all this stuff, and I tried forever to try to be a better person and change my mindset. And it took one single step of faith of, I'm going to go to church and see what happens, that everything changed. And when I say everything changed, everything has changed as far as my depression, my anxiety, the darkness, the way that I conduct myself, the way I feel about myself, the things that I go through, everything has changed. It's brought my family closer together. It's brought me and my brother closer together. It's brought me closer together with all the people in my church. They really are like family to me. And it doesn't take much. They talk about how God can take the faith the size of a mustard seed and just make it grow into something incredible. Like, all it takes is one little step, and everything could change. Things start falling into place. And it's really cool when you hear from Him and you're listening to Him and things happen and you put the pieces together. It's really cool to see how God is working in your life. And it's important to listen for God, listen for the guidance. A lot of times it'll just be like an urge to do something, a thought in your head, and sometimes it's, hey, go do this, hey, go do this, hey, go do this. Like, there's been times where I was urged to get up and say something, to share my story, and it's been really surprising to me that you never know what to expect. You can go to a random place and just start talking to somebody random, and it's really cool to see, oh, God puts you in places for reasons. I've had a lot of those experiences that I really want to share with you guys because I've lived, 33 years before this, and things just make more sense now. I have a lot more appreciation for things, and the more you look back as to what already happened, and the more that you look at what is happening, the more you see that God was always there. God was with you. He still is. He's going to be there forever, guiding you, because that's just who He is. Like, He loves us, and He's not going to leave us alone. And there's a lot of comfort in that, especially when you go into uncertain situations. There's a lot of comfort that He will give us. God will provide for us in so many different ways. You just have to be willing to ask Him for it. You have to humble yourself enough to say, hey, I need help with this. I can't do this on my own. And, I talked about it a little bit last time with the lies that the enemy tells us of it's not enough, we're not loved. And at the end of the day, maybe we're not enough, but God is more than enough. And, if some people don't love us, just know God loves us. So if God's with us, then who could be against us? Answer is nobody, in case you're wondering that at home. But I feel like I've rambled on a little bit longer than I probably should have. This episode was a little all over the place, but hopefully you guys got something from it. Hopefully you'll keep sticking around for the next one. Keep trying to do these as much as I can, because I have a lot to tell, and I feel like it's going to make a difference. So, thanks for watching. If you want to leave a comment down below, I'll try to answer whatever questions anybody has. But remember to take things one day at a time.